All right, what's happening, everybody? A little pop-up here, evening show. I didn't have any time really today to do any videos, so I figured we'd just pop in and talk about it real quick. Lay down the law on these guys. They've already done their press conferences, Zoom calls or Google Meets, whatever, with Justin Rogers and I believe Tim Twentyman, with both the guys that we brought in tonight. Some interesting information that I found on both of them. Greg Dortch is a guy that I had mentioned last week that, hey, there's an opportunity to bring an Arizona guy in. That one kind of made sense. So Greg Dortch in Detroit, man. Damone Clark is now in Detroit, outside linebacker, wide receiver. And Brad Holmes, man, he's doing the damn thing. I got to get the chat pulled out here. I guess my first question to you right away is, and I kind of put it up in the up here in the Q&A, is do you think that Brad is kind of outdoing himself this year? I guess good, bad, or indifferent. How do you feel like free agency is going? Because when I look around this room, I mean, when I look around the team, I think that we're getting better everywhere. And maybe I'm way off, but I think we're getting better everywhere. Pretty tough to replace Alex Anzalone. I'm not necessarily 100% locked in that we have found that player yet. I don't believe that Damone Clark is that player. And DJ Wonham clearly is going to be out on the edge. So we still need somebody to replace Alex Anzalone and what he does. And right now we have, the spot is filled between Malcolm Rodriguez and Damone Clark. Both of those guys will be filling over at the outside linebacker position, the will position. And we'll hear from Damone Clark here in a minute. He actually, I thought he had a really good thing to say about the positions, what it means to him, I'll just leave it up to him to explain it. But at the end of the day, I mean, when I, again, like what I was saying is when we look around this roster right now, we're getting younger to a degree everywhere. We're bringing in guys that do very specific things in some respect. Like Greg Dortch, I'll touch on in a minute. I don't know how many of you know what he does outside of catching the ball. But this is a dude that is going to replace Khalif Raymond and potentially going to be a lot better than Khalif Raymond from from the perspective of kicks, punts, and offensive opportunities. So I think what he did this year, Brad, I think what Brad Holmes did this year is, yeah, it's different, and I was kind of queuing that up the last couple weeks that I felt that Brad was going to go in a different direction this year than he has in seasons past. And I think he has. I mean, I shouldn't say I think. I know he has. It's different. Well, the one-year contracts are not different. But the type of players that we're bringing in, that I think is different. I mean, he has gone around now and plugged just about every hole possible. We have great camp competition right now. We have every starter spot is filled for the most part. You could say that left tackle is about the only spot that is really ignored now. And if you're worried about safety, then safety. But good luck with safeties on the open market right now. I think that gets addressed in the draft. And to a lesser extent, we don't need another wide receiver. But we've got really good competition now. And I think Dortch, as long as he stays healthy, I think he clears the 53. At least right now, I think that. We'll see where that goes, this summer. I'll tell you why right now. So Greg Dortch signed to Detroit. Let me make sure I got his. All right, we're good on his press conference. Signed with Detroit today. It was announced a couple hours ago. He's 5'7", 175 pounds, just a wee little guy. Small dude. Fast guy. He's got 9 1/4 inch hands on this small frame. I mean, I want to see linebackers in corners with hands like this, and he has some big mitts for, you know, a smaller frame. 29 and a quarter inch arms. I mean, he has bigger arms on that small frame than Roger McCreary. So he's got all these unique measurements going for him. And then, like, his ape index, I don't know that I did this right, because I don't think I did the math right. Hold on. 70.125. 67. No, I did it right. 105. So a 105 ape index on a receiver. I mean, that's above average for a receiver. I mean, that's damn near elite for a receiver to have an ape index like that. So that means, you know, at 5'7", his wingspan is pretty big. You know, that those late hands and having a big wingspan, that helps. That's why he's been able to do, you know, the things that he's been able to do in the league. Key metrics for this guy. Now, last season he only played 12 games. I think he got injured that week 12 or week 13, whatever it was. Then he was done for the year. He had a chest injury. We'll talk more about that in just a second. He only had 29 receptions, 206 yards, 3 TDs. That's very efficient. 31 kick returns, and get this, 26.2 yard average. 26.2 yard average. Let me pull up Raymond here. Raymond last year had 24 receptions, 289 yards, 1 TD. So Greg Dortch put up more receptions, a little bit less yardage than Khalif Raymond in 3 less games. Khalif Raymond appeared in 15, Dortch in 12. So I like those odds. 1 TD for Khalif Raymond, 3 for Dortch. I mean, what more you know, can you ask for, right? In the kick return game, where's his stats at? There we go. Last year for Khalif Raymond, 15 games, 3 started. He had 32 returns as well. I'm sorry, Dortch had 31, and he averaged. It's like I got to do the math because they don't give me the average. You know what? I want to go to my new site. I got this new site loaded up. Let me pull it up here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. For those of you in the Voxer, I will share this with you. Got to keep this one hush hush. It's a good site. I have a conference call with these guys next week. Hoping to work something out with them. Yada, yada, yada. Which one is it under? I'm going to have to just search, I guess. Let's try this one. Perfect. There we go. So right here, this is Khalif Raymond's stats. I really love this breakdown and this summary, the way they have it all laid out. I have it on the wrong screen. Otherwise, I'd try to make it bigger for you. I just can't. But the number that matters is down here, right? 26.8 average, 21.3 on the season. Okay, so 2025 is at the bottom. 26.8 average. Dortch, 26.2. So very, very close. These guys are very, very, very close. Punt returns, Khalif Raymond last year had a 7.5 average. 32 punt returns. And Dortch had 16 punt returns for 11.6 average. So 4 more yards per return. So good stuff here, man. Great stuff, actually, by Dortch. He's younger. He's a little bit smaller, yes. He's younger. And I'm not sure if he's quicker yet. I haven't gotten that far into anything, and I haven't really watched any film on him yet, so we'll see. But Greg Dortch, 5'7", 175, out of Wake Forest. He proved from day one that, you know, that sub-package stature could be weaponized with pure velocity, and that's what he brings, man. He went unselected in 2019, so, you know, he put that chip firmly on that shoulder. He got his initiation into the league, which was grueling for him. He had to battle his way the whole time. He bounced around between practice squads, Jets, Panthers, Rams, Falcons. I mean, just 24 months of hell for this guy, at least based on the research that I have. Let's see. And then landed with the Cardinals in 2021 and stuck. Right? So from 2019 to 2021, at least from what I read, there was a lot of bouncing around going on in there. So in 2021, he arrives in Arizona. He refused to just kind of let things go. He wanted to be somebody, but he realized, you know, his explosive acceleration could be utilized, right? I mean, in the kick in the punt return game, and that's immediately where he found an opportunity. So special teams was his calling, and then he got implemented into the offense, and then he developed that relationship with Drew Petzing when Drew Petzing came to town, and that's exactly why he's in town now with Detroit. He transitioned from that fringe practice squad player into a verified utility weapon during his time with the Cardinals, and over the 2023 and 2024 seasons, he stepped into a more diverse slot role and delivered high leverage catches whenever injuries struck the primary roster. He was inserted and became an immediate injection of speed. So he's going to bring that speed. He's going to bring that shiftiness to the slot. He's going to be able to give guys a rest. He's also going to be utilized in special teams. So he'll carve out a spot as long as he stays healthy. He'll carve out a spot for himself on this roster. Now, the Cardinals didn't bring him back this year, and that's primarily because Michael Wilson stepped up and had a really big year last year. Trey McBride's obviously coming back. Marvin Harrison. And I'm sure they're probably going to draft somebody this year to fill out that room even more. But then he had that late season chest injury that limited his offensive snap count, so then he remained, a free agent, lost this year, I guess is well how I'll put it. Analytics, the tape I haven't done, but the analytics tell me that it's a player that is reliable, and his reliability severely outweighs the physical frame. Like he is reliable. Most staggering metric I think on Dortch's resume is that he registered 0 drops on the first 105 targets of his NFL career. Reliable. He's, despite the 29.25-inch arms, he catches the football away from his body. And he has what they call the vice grip strength. He's really strong hands. Rarely allows a ball to enter his chest plate, which is good. I mean, the 3 minutes of highlights that I watch, it's not enough, but this is what I've noticed. Offensive production, he's highly dependent on yak. He's a yak monster, so he catches and he runs. He wins with manufactured touches, jet sweeps, shallow crossers. Obviously has a low center of gravity, so he's able to slip initial tackles, when guys are going high. So philosophy, matchup, scheme fit, all that good stuff. He knows Petzing's scheme, and whatever Petzing is going to bring, this is another teacher, right? So you don't necessarily, let me get out of this screen. You don't necessarily need to have a guy on the roster that is, a number one guy coming over from Petzing's scheme. You need someone that knows the scheme, that can be a teacher, that I don't care who it is. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to study like crazy, but younger guys like Isaac Tesla, and you know, to a lesser extent, whoever else we add, but even Dominic Lovett and Jackson Meeks, you know, they're going to look up to somebody like him that knows the scheme, and so when there's questions, he'll be able to help them. So it's a smart move. Again, this is another depreciated asset coming off a chest injury. I mean, it's almost hilarious at this point, right? Everyone always says, you know, Brad brings in all the injured players. I mean, look, the dude had a chest injury. It was last year. He's fine now. He didn't have 5 chest injuries. He had 1. You know, he's not an injury-prone guy because he had 1 injury. This acquisition, again, it's calculated. It's the same thing that they've been doing. Sorry, try to cough there. Depth chart reality, I mean, in the cap impact, it's going to be a low-risk 1-year deal. We know that. It's not going to be a bunch of money. But this is a plug-and-play schematic fit. I mean, from day one, you know, like I said, you know, offensively, I think he kind of slots in perfectly, honestly, with the wide receiver 4 option that you have right now behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Isaac Tesla, and then it's Greg Dortch. You know, Jackson Meeks and Dominic Lovett are going to have to fight for it. And I think he gives us that veteran insurance. That veteran insurance, excuse me, guys, in the sub packages. So interesting pickup for us today. I like it. Now, throughout his career, he has 99 punt returns, 886 yards. Let me go back to my sheet here. 99 punt returns, 886 yards, 8.9 average. That's a really good average. 75 kickoff returns, 23.6 average. He's fumbled the ball 6 times, but he hasn't really had a massive amount of fumbles. He had 3 in 1 year in 2023 or 2024. I got the yawns now. And that's it. That's really it on him. I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'll put out an article on him and go a little bit deeper. Let's take a listen to Mr. Dortch.
Excited to be here.
Mr. Dortch.
Hey, obviously you have a 3-year relationship with Drew Petzing. I imagine that was part of the appeal of coming to Detroit. Can you maybe just explain the relationship and what you've enjoyed about playing under Drew these last 3 seasons?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, I spent 3 years with Drew in Arizona, and we've grown a relationship. And obviously, he trusts me. And so just to have the opportunity to team up with him again, I'm excited.
When you are in an offense with a lot of playmakers, which, you know, was the case in Arizona with Marv and, you know, you got tight ends at both spots here, you know, how do you find your way and find a role when there's, you know, so many guys commanding the ball?
I think you just lean on what I do best, and it's just being myself. Obviously, in the NFL, opportunities come and go, and it's about what you do with your opportunities when they come. And I've done that up to this point in my career. But, man, I'm about winning. I'm about winning ball. It's not about if I had 10 catches. It's about if the team won. So I'm joining a great organization, a great team, a great locker room, and I'm excited to be here.
Appreciate you, man.
Nolan? Hey, Greg, welcome to Detroit. I'm just curious, you're a guy who can do a lot of different things on the football field. Is there a role or a skill that you feel like you're, is your strength relative to other receivers out there?
When you say out there, do you mean like with the Lions or just
in general? Like, is there something that you find like makes you stand out amongst other receivers in the league?
For me, I mean, obviously, I'm probably one of the smaller guys in the league, so my stature, when you cut on the tape, I'm not a big guy, but I'm a guy who lights up. I'm a guy who is tough, a guy who's not afraid to catch the ball and get hit. And I think something that I pride myself on is getting yak. Once I get the ball in my hands, I'm not just trying to get a first down or a couple yards. I'm trying to go the distance. So I think.
Didn't I just say that? Love this dude already. We agree. We see eye to eye.
And that's what sets me apart.
Well, I want to preface this next one by saying I'm 5'7", but as a smaller guy out there, what how do you feel like you develop toughness? When did that come into your game? When did that become part of who you are on the football field?
Just the things that I've been through, man. Coming into the NFL, being undrafted, just not a lot of people really believing in what I can do as a player, and it really started in high school. It started. Um, I had eight Division I offers. I'm not sure if you guys know my story, but not a lot of people wanted me. So just being tough in that, being having that tough mindset, and just taking it to the football field. And I love the game of football, so it's easy for me to play hard. It's easy for me to just play with passion because I love it.
Awesome. Thanks. Welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
Will?
Hey, Greg, I guess just tell us a little more about your story coming out of high school. Which schools were you considering and why Wake Forest in the end?
Yeah, so it really boiled down to Wake Forest, Iowa State, and Maryland offered me a week before signing day. And when teams do that, they something happened, whether they lost a guy or you're just not a top priority. And Wake Forest had been pretty consistent the whole time, and I decided it was a good fit, man. I felt like they were going to use me, and obviously, my career at Wake Forest has showed that it was the right fit for me. Um, and man, I don't know, man. I love the game of football, and I decided to leave school early. I played 2 years at Wake. I redshirted my freshman year, and I played two, and I left early. And a lot of people told me that it was a bad decision, and ultimately I went undrafted. Um, and this will be my 16th in 8 years. Um, and it's been a journey, man. But it's the reason why I'm still here. I'm still standing today because I love the game and I believe in myself. And that's what it comes down to, believing in yourself.
And then it looks like you've got tons of experience as a return man in the NFL, kick returns, punt returns. Last year seemed to be maybe your most efficient as a return man on punts, a career high in yards per return. In that area specifically, as a punt returner, what do you feel like clicked for you last year, if anything?
I would say my confidence. Like I said, being going in at year 8 in the NFL, man, it's about confidence on the field, man. It's a lot of guys who get out there and they've been drafted early or they've been predicted to play early. And honestly, they didn't really believe in themselves that, I belong out here on this field. But um, I do. I do believe in myself. I truly do. And you can see that in my play, man. I take chances. I take risk. You got to take risks as a punt returner, man. You got 11 guys running full speed trying to take your head off. So I believe in myself, man. And like I said before, I love football. So it's nothing for me to go out there and play with passion and energy.
I appreciate it, bro. Welcome to Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Dave?
Hey, congrats, Greg. Back to that whole journey for a sec. I don't know if there's anything else about your childhood that, is part of that underdog story that you can share, but I was curious after that journey and after all those lean years you spent in the NFL bouncing between teams, what does it mean to have been, have the career that you've had after all these years now?
It means a lot, man. It means a lot. And I wouldn't be here without my support system. My dad has been my biggest fan. And there were days when I didn't really believe in myself. I know I just sat here and said I believe in myself, but obviously in every story there's times where you doubt yourself. And you need a support system. You need somebody to push you, somebody that knows who you really are. And he's been that for me. And so he's helped me, man. And it's gotten me to this point, along with prayer. My prayer life has grown tremendously, and just really just growing in prayer and just believing in myself.
Did you ever come close to giving it up?
Um, I would say in 2020, man, after I got cut from the Falcons, I talked to my agent and he told me to take the CFL route. And at that moment, I was like, like it's gonna be tough for me to go to CFL and work my way back in the NFL. Um, but that was a point where I was like, okay, maybe this is the point where I need to transition. And man, I've been so blessed. to still be able to do this, I got a call maybe 2 days before I was supposed to go to the CFL about a tryout with the Cardinals, and I ended up making the team, and I spent 5 years in Arizona.
Yeah.
And so, like, man, it's just like when you feel like you want to quit, don't quit. Just keep pushing. And man, the breakthrough.
Yeah. No, something divine about that, maybe, right? That had happened 2 days before. Back to Petsing for a quick sec. How big of a reason was that why you came to Detroit? Was he why you came to Detroit?
It was a big reason. Obviously, just the comfortable factor, the trust, um, the success that I've had with him, being my OC, the 3 years together. Drew's very smart. He knows exactly how to get people the ball, as well as Khalif Raymond taking another job somewhere else. I seen that the spot was vacant. So, um, man, Detroit fits who I am as a man, the grit, the toughness, the getting it out of the mud, the just that's me. That's my whole story. And when I got a call from Detroit that they were interested, it was no better fit.
And then last thing for me, just on Drew, we're sort of getting to know him here and kind of what he does. Can you speak to his creativity? Like what is, we're used to seeing some of that in the offense here. How creative do you think, Drew will be with what he can do with all the weapons that you guys have?
Yeah, I would like Drew to speak on that himself. I don't want to put too much on him, but obviously just a mix of the run and the pass game. Um, and yeah, I don't want to overstep. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to overstep him. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Congrats.
Thank you.
Rich?
Hey, Greg. I'm not sure if you guys have any maybe off-season workouts.
I got to pause here for just a second because this dude's smart. I'm sitting back here listening, and one, I'm inspired by the dude. His path is, this is what they say dreams are made of, right? Everything that he just spoke to, how tough it was, about to quit, about to go to CFL, gets a chance, and makes the Cardinals for 5 seasons. Like, man. And I had a feeling like he was welling up a little bit there. I think that Burkett was about to get him to release a couple of tears, couple crocodile tears. But man, the fact that he's, he just asked a specific question, scheme wise or whatever, and perfect answer. I don't want to overstep my OC. Let him take care of it. I just a super smart dude, man, and more than that, polite and respectful. There's a reason why he's in Detroit. There's more than one. There's plenty, but this is a much better signing than I thought.
Or interactions with each other, but from afar, what have your impressions been of Jared Goff, the type of quarterback that he is, and how do you think you fit with him?
Yeah, so I haven't met Jared as of recently. In 2019, as a rookie, I had a quick stint with the LA Rams, and he was a quarterback there. But obviously, I was a rookie. He was QB1, not really probably paying attention to me. But I got to see how he came to work every single day, and he was a pro about it. And that's one thing that I can say I honestly learned from just being in the league so long and bouncing around from teams, just watching how guys come to work. And obviously, Jared's had success in this league because he's been a pro. So I'm sure that'll continue.
Appreciate it.
All right, back to Will.
Hey, do you still have the same agent who encouraged you to go to the CFL back in 2020?
No. Nah.
Not a coincidence, I take it.
Obviously, we didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
hey, when the Lions called you, who was it that first reached out to you, or was that through your agent?
It was through my agent, yeah.
Okay, who'd you first talk to from the Lions during this process?
Obviously, Petsing.
Yeah.
I want to say just Petsing, yeah, and then
Okay.
everything else was through my agent, yeah.
Right on. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Up next, we'll talk about Damone Clark. But I want to break down this guy just for a brief moment here. Dortch, man, flopped around, like I said, for his first year, like 5-6 different teams. lands with the Cardinals, sticks for 5 seasons. What a tremendous amount of resiliency. You know, he mentions getting it out of the mud, climbing up through the mud. I mean, like that's what we're all about here, you know, as Detroit Lions fans. This Detroit Lions team. You know, I can't say I'm from Detroit, but I mean, that's what Detroiters are all about. Hardworking. I mean, just gritty people that work their ass off and are full of pride, you know, for what they accomplish every day. And those are the types of players that we're getting back on this team. And I'm not saying that we've had a problem with any of the other players, because I honestly haven't heard of any, really. But what I would say, well, outside of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think that he was just a loudmouth problem. But the Dortch, man, he's got that energy to him, man. I wrote down wow, like legit. I just wrote WOW exclamation, just wow. Like if I was doing an interview and I'm just sitting back as a GM just listening, there's no way in the world I'm not going to give this guy a contract. The way that he fights, the way that he stayed in it to win it, landed on a team and kept fighting forward, man, and just carved out a spot and did whatever he could to stick to a team and produce, and he's done just that. He's tough, he's kind, and he doesn't quit. And that's a great recipe to be in Detroit. That's a great recipe to be in Detroit. Maybe I'm going to try to reach out to some of these guys. I don't usually reach out to the new signings and try to get them to come on, but maybe I'll try this year. Since I'm actually credentialed now, maybe that'll help. I'll have to reach out to Solomon and see if he can't get me connected or see what the process is there. So next up, let's talk about Damone Clark. So I don't know much about Damone Clark, so I had to do a lot of research, just like I did on Dortch today. And you know what I found is probably a good depth guy. I mean, like I said, he's instantly coming in as maybe the number 2 will linebacker behind Malcolm. I would think that Malcolm might get the first shot, but then again, Damone Clark is a totally different profile of player. You know, he's got the requisite size, height, weight, you know, everything, speed, arm length. He has it all. 6'3", 240, almost 10-inch hands, 33-inch arms, 78.5-inch wingspan. The ape index on him, a little tighter on him, which is fine for a linebacker. Doesn't have to be extremely wide. It's the arm length that I care about more. At 105. So he's right there too. He's right there. 10. It's actually 104.6, but I round up. So it's 105. Get his stats up real quick. Let's get rid of Khalif. Let's get rid of Dortch. So last season with the Texans, he appeared in 2 games last year. So rough year. Year before that, he appeared in 4 games. 6 games altogether last year between the Cowboys and the Texans. The year before that was 6 games. His best season was 2023, where he played all 17 games. He had 106 tackles. Just get this up on the screen. There we go. 106 tackles. 7 TFLs. No forced fumbles. No sacks. 6 pressures. He was targeted 17 times. About a 59% completion percentage. About 5.1 yards per target. No interceptions. He saved 16 points. That's I like that metric in this site, man. I love it. 33rd pick in the 5th round. And here's the key, LSU. This guy was an absolute baller in Baton Rouge. So much so, do you guys remember the number 18? Right? We talked about this with Wingo. And how the number 18 is such a coveted number. in LSU's history. He earned it. He earned it. So, beginning his football journey in Baton Rouge, he developed a physiological callousness, if you will, that would define his professional trajectory. He earned that prestigious number 18 jersey that LSU awarded only to the player who epitomizes the Tigers' absolute standard of accountability. That's what it's all about. Clark produced a 135 tackle first team all SEC campaign in 2021. However, though, his path hit a rough spot. Probably more of a terrifying roadblock, honestly. Prior to the 2022 NFL draft, an MRI revealed that he had a herniated disc. It required spinal fusion surgery. He dropped to the 5th round, where Dallas selected him 176th overall. Clark defied the medical timeline. He returned to the field halfway through his rookie season, which is crazy, verifying an extreme physical durability that immediately caught the attention of the league evaluators. And then, there he is, right? He's back. So with the Cowboys, he's stuck for 4 seasons. Looks like after, I don't know what year that, or which game it was, at which point in the season. I didn't look that far, where he was traded or released or whatever by the Cowboys. So another guy with a spinal fusion, that scares the crap out of me, right? But he's already put a lot of mileage on it. So clearly he's doing okay. His durability is clearly there. If he's gone 4 seasons now after a spinal fusion surgery, I'm going to trust in it. I mean, crazy things can happen, but I'm going to trust in it. In 23, he transitioned from what you would consider to be a medical question mark into a defensive fixture for the Cowboys, playing all 17 games. So he bounced back in a hurry, man. He runs a 4.5, or he did run a 4.57 40, so he's got good speed. He can track down, the outside zone concepts and erase the perimeter screens. I mean, that's just what he's good at. Dallas and their coaching carousel, I think it really limited his momentum and his growth. I think that they kind of scuttled his career. I'm not saying that he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer or anything. I'm not saying that he would have been a consistent starter, but that whole mess down there in Dallas, I think it's ruined a lot of guys' careers. So he had a big shift in philosophy, 2024, 2025, that really altered the linebacker room responsibilities. So the new defensive structure demanded 250-pound thumpers, capable of anchoring against double teams in the A gap, stripping Clark of his defining trait, which is sideline to sideline play. So the Cowboys went bigger, right? They went bigger. I mean, look, they just got rid of Micah Parsons too, right? So yeah, they're not all right in the head, I guess. But he was reduced to a rotational piece. He hit the waiver wire in 2025, so there's our answer. And then he immediately latched on with the Houston Texans. He logged 131 critical special team snaps. There's your other answer. He can play special teams. He's willing to play special teams, and prove that he can still play. Now, the deep analytics, I went a little bit. Tape, obviously, a couple highlights. The tape or the highlights revealed run and hit, a will linebacker that processes offensive motion with rapid efficiency. I think that, he can click and close. I also feel that when he sees it, he sees it. The defining analytic for me is it's not the pass rush win rate, because he doesn't have that great of any of that. It's the tackling security that I noticed. He's a sure tackler. And during his 2023 campaign, which I went back to 23 and watched some of his work, he posted a 5.4% missed tackle rate. That is stupid low with the amount of snaps and opportunities that he had. He ranked the 3rd lowest among 198 qualifying defenders that season that had 80-plus tackles. If we get that guy back, like if that's who he is today, this is a super smart pickup. If that's the guy that they got, then we are in for a treat. If he's the guy that's been bouncing around the last 2 years, undervalued for whatever reason, that's not great, but he'll be a key special teamer. He doesn't rely just on the brute force block destruction. He wins by slipping the outside shoulder of climbing guards. So when guards are trying to track him down, right? They're climbing to that second level. They're trying to track down that linebacker and erase him, cross their face, turn, peel, and make sure that they can't get to the running back. Well, he finds them and he slips that outside shoulder, utilizes his lateral burst to kind of scrape over the top of the trash, if you will. There's a lot of stuff going on in the middle of that defense. And then he operates with a high-end strike timing. He targets the hips of the ball carrier, and then he just launches. There's some vicious hits that he laid. He laid a few guys out. I don't remember the exact games. I didn't write it down. I don't remember the exact players, so I didn't write it down. But I was in a hurry. The philosophy. So how does he fit? I think that this acquisition was tactical again. This is another depreciated asset that Brad is bringing in. He's getting reunited with Calvin Shepard, and here's the key. Dortch comes in for Petzing. This guy's coming in because of Calvin Shepard. There's linkage here, not just because they're both LSU guys. Look what I caught. During Clark's 2020 season at LSU, Calvin Shepard was the director of player development that year for LSU. So he knows who this guy is. So for an entire calendar year, Calvin Shepard got to evaluate Clark's processing. He got to evaluate what he does in his daily, practice habits, his response to, high stakes SEC adversity, all that stuff. Who is this guy wearing number 18? Clark understands the precise terminology, the gap exchange rules, the pre-snap checks, all that stuff that Calvin Shepard's defense is going to demand this year. Now, obviously, with Alex Anzalone leaving to Tampa Bay, we needed some sort of a veteran that could have a higher floor and a bigger presence immediately. Assuming that we're probably going to end up with a rookie. I'm willing to bet we're going to end up with a rookie. But this guy's going to bring in that high floor, high fidelity, kind of patch, if you will. I mean, he's on a 1-year deal, and he's going to come in and he's going to earn it. But I think that this was a very smart move. Calvin Shepard knows the guy, and that to me is more important than anything because, Calvin Shepard's also, a former linebacker. So I would say that he's going to be a pretty good judge of linebackers, you would think, right? So it all makes sense, man. It all makes sense. And I'm super excited to see more and learn more, do some more work on these guys as we get an opportunity to. But this was another smart move. I know it's not breaking headlines and it's not like attracting a bunch of buzz and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, this is a move that the Lions are counting on to start rebuilding the middle of that room, if you will. The depth chart reality, I think, for this guy and the cap impact, look, it's another cost-effective, low impact 1-year deal. Brad Holmes is going to secure, the maximum roster flexibility where he can. I did not look at his previous contracts yet or anything, so I'm not real sure how much he's going to get paid, but it could be a vet minimum deal. It could be $2, $3, $4, $5 million, anywhere in that range, and I think that we're okay. I mean, wherever it is, I think he's going to be the will linebacker to start, or at least the backup. But quite honestly, I think he's going to beat out Rodrigo simply because he has the length and he has the speed and he has the experience. This is a good pickup. Let's listen to Damone Clark.
You got a chance to play considerable snaps start in 2023 in Dallas. I'm just curious, how much familiarity do you have with that will linebacker spot? And just what have you been told about the opportunity to kind of see a significant role here in Detroit's defense, and how excited are you for that opportunity?
First and foremost, got to give all praise and glory to God for the opportunity to be here Without God, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today. And it's a surreal moment, obviously going into year 5. A lot of football that I've played a good bit of ball. I know I have a lot of football left from to learn. I'm just excited for the opportunity. To answer your question about the will job, bro, football is ball. Like ball is ball at the end of the day. Trust your preparation, listen to the coaches, trust your coach's preparation, and go out there and do it. So I don't look at it like a Mike, Spot, Will, Sam. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like football is football. The more you can do, the better. And the better you do, the more you play.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Justin.
Welcome to Detroit. I'm curious. You overlap with Shep at LSU. Obviously, he was really important with that program, but he had the year there where he was in more of a, I don't know if we want to call it counseling or mentorship role. And I'm just wondering what kind of relationship you forged with him during that time, and what kind of relationship at all you've maintained with him over the years.
Oh yeah, purple and gold, through and through. Obviously, LSU. But I've been knowing Shep since. I always knew about Shep. Obviously, like playing at LSU after him. Being one of the best linebackers to come through LSU. And so we were able to overlap each other in 2020, and him being more on the player development side. He still was he played ball in the league already. So he was a guy that would give us coaching points. Like he wasn't the linebacker coach, but he still went outside of his job, which helping the linebackers, whatever way that he could. And I'm just excited for the opportunity. Even talking to him after games, obviously my past couple of years playing versus Detroit when I was in Dallas, talking to him after the game and staying in contact with each other. It's like I say, it's more than just football. It's a brotherhood, obviously talking to him today. At the end of the day, he has a job to do and I have a job to do. And it don't matter about the relationship because at the end of the day, it's a business and I have to put my best foot forward, just like he have to put his best foot forward because I have family, he have family, and we want to take care of our kids, take care of our family.
You enjoyed the honor of wearing the number 18 at LSU. Got another one of those guys in this locker room in Makai Wingo.
Yeah.
What?
All right, pause it here. So I haven't had a chance to listen to any of these yet, but this one here, I'm loving what he's saying already. I mean, he understands it, right? He gets it immediately. He gets it. I have a relationship with Shep, right? But this is business. As much as I have a relationship with somebody, I have to go in and work. I have to go in and prove that I belong here, that I deserve to be here, and I've got to show it through my work. And he's expecting that accountability from Shep, and Shep's going to expect that accountability from him. Now, that doesn't mean that, Shep wouldn't give him an extra, long leash or something. But honestly, I don't know if Shep is that kind of way. To be real with you, I don't view Shep as that kind of guy. I think that what we've seen with him, talking about Terry and Arnold this last, during the offseason, I mean, that's putting a player on notice that it's time to shut up, put up or shut up, right? Time to shit or get off the pot. But not in this case. I think that Damone Clark is going to come in and provide, the exact details that he needs to do to go out and be successful and do whatever, Calvin Shepard asked him to do without any issue. And that's two guys in a row here, Dortch and Damone Clark, just very organized thoughts, and you can tell that they get it at a much higher level than most guys do.
What does that honor still mean to you? How do you kind of carry that into the league to this day?
So I my first 2 years in Dallas, I wore 33, and then when Jalen Tolbert switched to number 1, I told him, "Hey, bro, if you switch your number, please let me know." And he told me, "Hey, I'm switching to number 1." So I was able to get number 18, but 18 means a lot to me. It's an honor to be able to represent the number 18 with guys that won it before me, exemplifies the standard of LSU, both on and off the field. That's what I live by. I'm not going to let a number define me, but I do know what it means at LSU. That's how I live my life. I live my life that way, and it's, like I said, it was an honor, and being able to be in the locker room with Wingo now, and he wore 18 as well. It's an honor, man. Just like having other LSU guys in the locker room, it'll help me, as I get to know the rest of my team, my teammates, and I'm looking forward to that.
Appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Rich?
Hey, we saw you last year. You were near the top of the league in tackles on special teams. You had a bigger role in that phase than you ever had before in your career. What is it about special teams, or I guess about you, that you perform well there?
Man, anything for me to help my team get the victory. Obviously everybody wanted to play on defense, but that comes with your role. My role last year, it decreased on the defensive side, but it increased on the special team side, and that's okay. Like I say, every morning I wake up in the morning, I just thank God for the opportunity. 'Cause I got homeboys and people back at the crib that they'll do anything just to be on practice squad, something like that. So you have to make the most of every opportunity, and you got to put that on the forefront of your mind, is that guys wish to be in this position. So, I'm in this position, so don't complain about it. Just put your head down and go to work. And I mean, that was the circumstances. I had to deal with that in Dallas. Really, my last 2 years in Dallas, I dealt with that, having an increased role on special teams and the decreased role in the defensive snaps. But I'm here today. The past is in the past. Look forward to whatever I can do to help this team win, because I'm just from watching, from afar, this team has always been a play or two away, a game away, and I want to add to that, to an already great group of guys, great group of coaches that they already have here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave?
Hey, congrats on signing up here. Welcome to Detroit. Two things just to follow up on what Justin asked. Was Shep a big reason, a big part of why you signed here? And have you stayed in contact with him since you left LSU?
Oh, I always stay in contact with Shep, regardless of the fact of, him being the defensive coordinator. He started out as the outside linebacker coach, then inside linebacker. Now he's the D coordinator. It's a relationship. LSU is a brotherhood. Like, it don't matter if I played at LSU from 18 to 21. But if I meet somebody that played in 1995 or whatever, like, it's not like okay, you played at that time, I played at this time. Like, it's a brotherhood. LSU, purple and gold goes a long way. And I keep in touch with them. Like, obviously, like, just to sharpen my game. Like, my biggest thing with me, I always want to get better. I don't want to stay the same. And he tell me when I'm doing good things, tell me when I need to work on things, and that's all part of it. I'm a sponge. I want to learn as much as I can, because I know the player that I can be, and I know the player that I want to be. So for me, it's all about just like taking the coaching. When guys telling you something, they're not just telling you just to say they told you. They're telling you because obviously they want the best for you and they know what you can do. So I'm blessed just to be in this position to be able to come here and get coached by Shep, because I know how he is, outside of ball, and it ain't no different. He gonna always shoot it straight to you, and like I mentioned, it don't matter just because I've been knowing Shep. At the end of the day, I talked to him today. At the end of the day, I need to do what I got to do. There's no homeboys in this business. Like, you need to come in here, you put your head down, and you go to work, and the best man to win.
Do you think what sort of opportunity do you think you have to play on defense here?
I mean, you can look at this. You can look at the group of linebackers, man. You got to tip your hat off to Jack Campbell, man. He played all pro at an all pro level last year, obviously. And you seeing guys, that Shep has coached and developed. Like, who wouldn't want that to be them? Who wouldn't want that to be them, just to get that opportunity to get that coaching? And you go around on Sundays, you out there flying around making plays. That make yourself proud, make your family proud, but also make your coaches proud too, because everything that you're going throughout the week, you translate it over to the game, and that's honestly what it's all about. The coaches, they're gonna do their part. We have to do our part.
And then last thing, I don't know if you were on the field, but what do you remember about that crazy sequence at the end of the 2023 game, the 2-point play, that ran 3 times and skipper reporting is eligible and what's your
Yeah,
he
that was
laughs and
crazy.
smiles. So yeah, what do you remember about that?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I remember it. Honestly, I remember, it was Panay and then Skipper. They both walked up to him. I don't remember what was being said or anything, but I know obviously, like, if they're walking up, they telling them, "Hey, I'm eligible." I don't know what was said. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what was said, but all I know at the time in Dallas, we got the victory. It was a crazy sequence. It was that, and then it was they wound up. I know Micah jumped off sides on one of them or something. It was something crazy. Like, and this, like,
There were
it's
three
like,
of them, 3 2-point plays there.
yeah, you can't, like, he's like, bro, like, it's like boom, boom, oh, boom. So it's like it was real crazy. It was crazy. But then I gotta admit, the next year they came back to Dallas, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. You got guys catching the ball, tossing it back to Panay, like he running. They line up at receiver on us. Actually, one of the plays that game, I think he wound up reporting eligible again. And this time we was on it this time, and I wound up breaking the pass up, but also they did a run fake, so I stepped down, and then I turned around. I'm like, oh. And I turned around and just started running. So I remember that play. But yeah, that was a crazy sequence of events. And just obviously, like, playing against the Lions, like, you need to be prepared because those guys are going to be physical and they're going to outsmart you.
You broke a pass up that was intended for Skipper or one of the linemen in that game?
I think it was not Skipper. It was 68 Decker.
Decker.
It
Okay.
was Decker. It was I remember they had all white on. We had on navy blue jerseys.
Yeah. That very first one, were you confused as to who? I mean, did they pull one over on you guys that, like, you guys didn't know who was
Come
eligible?
out 2 years ago,
Yeah, the
or
2-point play.
not the one that had the crazy sequence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just know, like, I saw two people standing over there with the ref, so I don't know what was being said or whatnot. I just, like, hey, like, it was on the outside that day. We won. That's all I know. We won the game. It was a crazy sequence of events, but we won the game.
Good to be on this side of it now where you don't have to worry about some of that, craziness going on.
Well, you gotta know, like, it's a copycat league, so, like, everybody going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just be prepared for it and have your antennas up.
Awesome. Hey, congratulations again. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Will, last one.
Real quick, just to clarify, is it Damone or Damon?
Damone.
Damone. Okay. Hey, so at the end of 2023, they all thought they were going to see you guys again in the playoffs. Did you guys think you would collide for a second time after that kind of controversial ending in December?
I knew, like, after the game, it was like, all right, we see you guys later. Like, y'all got this one, but we'll see y'all again in the playoffs. So I pretty much thought that we were going to play. I don't remember what happened. We played Green Bay. I think that's when we played. Yeah, we played Green Bay. Yeah, so
you played them.
yeah. We played Green Bay, and was not luck that day. But I for sure thought that we were going to. I for sure thought that we was going to play in the playoffs again.
And then when you think back to your first two seasons when you were playing a lot defensively, and in 2023 led your team in tackles, when you were playing, I guess, just right at the peak of your defensive abilities in the NFL, what do you feel like was driving that? What are your best attributes when your game's at your best?
I think it all boils down to having coaches that believe in you, coaches that's going to coach you the way that you want to be coached, coaches that are willing, and all those things that I describe Coach Ham and describe Coach Shep here. It's all about, like, I'm a relationship guy. I'm the type of person that you can coach me hard, be real with me. Like, I love coaches that you have more respect for guys that be real with you. You know what I'm saying? Even, like, when I was playing, I honestly just going out there just playing ball. Like, now I want to get to the point to where it's like, you understand ball. You're not just going out there playing see ball, get ball, because that can take you a long way, both good and, like, it could not be so good when you out there just playing see ball, get ball. So, just my coaching style, the way, just be real, be upfront, be hard on me, because I'm hard on myself. So, like, that's the biggest thing with me. I'm my own biggest critic, and I want to be just as great as the coaches want me to be. But ultimately, it boils down to me, my preparation, and how I prepare myself. And I can't wait to get here with the guys, get with Coach Ham, and get with Coach Shep, and the guys, and really just learn, just start over from scratch, and just be a sponge.
Thank you, Damone. I appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Really, 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 really good stuff. What is going on with this? Hold on here. Okay. Damone. Not Damone or Damon or whatever I said. Ball is ball is ball. That's just an amazing statement right there. That's all I needed to hear. Ball is ball. He doesn't care where he's at. Sam, Will, middle linebacker, he don't care. Just put me out there. I'll go make it happen. He has the skill set to play all three positions. He has the size to play all three positions. So it's another asset. He was the top of the league in special teams tackling a couple seasons ago. And in my next best statement from this guy, I mean, head down, go to work. That's what you're getting from Damone. Let me get out of here. I don't know why this thing's doing this. There we go. A lot of good stuff in there from him. I mean, talking about the Cowboys stuff, he doesn't really want to give that answer, right? He doesn't want to give it all away. I'm surprised they're even pressing him that hard on it, to be honest with you. I mean, it could, create, I guess, some good commentary, but I like to know more about the football player, and I probably would ask a few more questions about, his style of play and, I guess where he, really sees himself, playing, even though he just said, ball's ball. I don't care where you put me. Where do you want to play? What does he think more about, this defense? And, I think the biggest compliment that you can have from bringing in a free agent is when you just went up against that free agent. And that is another thing that you'll notice about Brad Holmes. Look at the teams that we go up against and look where a lot of our free agents come from. A lot of our free agents come from teams that we either just played the season before, right? Or we're going to be going up against that team that they're coming from the next season. It makes you smarter, because if you're bringing in a player from a team that's on your schedule this year, well, they know a lot about those players over there. You get a little bit more inside information. And that player knows how to play, up against some of those guys. They know some of the weaknesses and some of the strengths and whatnot. But the biggest compliment that you can get from a new player coming in is, going up against the Lions. They're going to be ready. They're going to be prepared. They're going to be physical, and they're going to try to outsmart you. I mean, what a beautiful compliment, right? That's who we are. This is what other players think about the Detroit Lions. No longer do they think that we're the stepping stone, that you can just come and step all over us, and that this is just a gimme game. That doesn't exist anymore. So for all the fans out there that want to be so negative all the time, like, take a page out of what these players are saying. They're not just saying this stuff because they're joining the team. I mean, you can tell that is a real thought. This is something that they prepare for. The Lions are coming in, and like you said, you got us, we got you this one, but even though we should have won that game, but the next year, we straight whooped that ass. What was it? 46-0, I think was the score. We straight smoked them. So now he gets to be on this side and see what we're all about. And he already has a really good idea of what we're all about. Another good signing, man. Another good signing. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. I'm excited about the season. Let me take a look at all of our signings real quick. Let's see if they're updated. I know I got to update my ticker. I don't think I have them all on there yet. All right. Yeah, they're not all on there yet. Spotrack's not updated. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This makes 13. Is that where we're at today? Is 13? And I know some people were saying, I think that this is like Khalif Raymond's replacement. Dortch, it absolutely is. I mean, 1,000%, that is a no-brainer. An absolute no-brainer. That he's replacing Khalif. Pull up the list here. I can just double check all the numbers or all the players. All right. Greg Dortch, Damone Clark, DJ Wonham, Roger McCreary. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's maybe 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 15. It's 15. I forgot Jake Bates is back on the exclusive rights free agent deal. So we have 15 free agents. And of that, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1 more time. 1, 2, 3. So only 3 are internals. You could count Teddy as an internal. That would make 4, but he wasn't on the team last year. So we have 3 internals and we have 12 external free agents this season. Remember when I said that something was going to be different this year? This is different. And here's why. Let me pull up my article. I'll post it in the chat so that you guys, if you want to check it out later. I hate that I have to sign into my own thing every single time. It is ridiculous. I should just stay open. But here we go. Wow, the Dollar General Brad article got quite a few views. All right, here, let me put this in the chat so you guys can read it later. Please subscribe to DetroitFootballJournal.com. It's free. And then I'm also going to upgrade you guys for free, whether it's 3 months or 6 months. Time's running out. Between now and the end of March, you got to get subscribed. You got to share it. If you start sharing it with a bunch of people and they subscribe, you get more time where you don't have to pay. Now, when all the time runs out and you have to pay to not have paywalls, I'm going to do something really cool this year, but I'll have to let you know what that is here in a couple of months. By all means, if your time runs out and I haven't announced anything yet, just reach out to me. Mailbag@rockdown.com. So I just shared you the article, and here's why. Overall signings, internal, in 2025, we only had 5. We had 5 internal. We had 11 external. Well, we're already over that. We only have 3 internal this year and 12 external. In 2024, we had 10 internal. In 2023, we had 9 internal. In 2022, we had 7 internal. And in 2021, when we were trying to totally change the team over, we only had 4 internal. So what that tells you is in 21 and 22, now bear with me here. We're going to walk through this, but in 21 and 22, would you agree or disagree that those were the years that Dan and Brad were really trying to lay the foundation, build the team, Get the frame up, got the windows in, roof's going on, whatever, whatever order, right? Now you got the siding on at the end of 22 season. Now it's time to start doing the finishings, right? So you nail the draft, and now you're not going to not have to worry about signing external free agents as much, because you just went through a couple years of getting to know some guys, setting the culture, building the identity. Now it's time to keep those guys. So what are we doing this year that's different that I expected when I said we're going to be different this year? I think the Brad's going to do something totally different, and this is exactly what it is. Last year we had 10 internal signings. This year we only have 5. Or I'm sorry, this year we only have 3. Last year 5 internal signings. This year we have 3. The year before, in 2024, we had 10 internal. So between last year and this year, we're going through that phase out again. Now, if I don't even want to say this, but I'm going to say it. If history repeats itself, then that means in 2027, we would have a better shot at winning the Super Bowl. If history repeats itself. Because that's what happened. We went 2 years of gutting the team, signing less internal free agents, going more to the draft, and in that third year, we almost made it. But I don't think that's the case. You know why? Because there's a major difference between 2022 and 2026. The difference is we have an elite core on this team. In 2022, we barely had a core, let alone elite. We have so many gifted players and talented players on this roster that you can't tell me that we don't have a shot, number one, and bringing in the guys that we're bringing in, they're making this team better. So I think that the Lions have built this in a way that, they've gone to the same philosophy. We're going to get rid of as many internal guys as we can, get younger, get healthier, get better. But now we're adding all those guys to this elite core that we have. I mean, let's walk through the core for a minute. I mean, just listen to these names. I'm just going to put check marks down for every time I say the word core. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lee McNeil, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reed, Derek Barnes, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kirby Joseph if he's healthy, Jack Campbell, Jack Fox, the best punter in the league, Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, Isaac Tisla, and I say core because I think he did enough last year to prove who he can be. I mean, I'll put Malcolm in there, but he's not necessarily a starting core, but he's still part of that core. I mean, Levi Onwuzurike is part of that core, but he's not starting core. Miles Frazier's got some snaps. Mahogany's got plenty of snaps. I'll leave those guys off the core for now. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 18 core players on this squad. 18. And when I say core, I'm talking about players that are starters that can play at a high level. Let me say it again. Jared Goff, starter. Amon-Ra, starter. Lee McNeil, starter. Penei Sewell, starter. DJ Reed, starter. Aiden, Derek, Jamison, Sam, Brian, Jahmyr, Kirby, all starters. Brock Wright's a starter. He could be part of that course. That'd be 19. Jack Campbell, all pro, starter. Jack Fox, all, starter. Terry and Arnold, you got some work to do. Tyleik Williams, starter. Cade Mays, he's not part of the core yet, but he will be at some point. Tate Rowledge, absolutely part of that core, starter. Isaac Tesla, he's your third wide receiver, but I think that he earned the core last year. But again, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but I'm just going to say it again. And outside of that, yeah, there are plenty of starters and core special teamers, right? All the guys that I just listed, all 19 of them, you're talking high level football players. So now you're bringing in new draft picks and free agents to supplement and probably 2-3. Man, if you get really lucky and you get 4 core guys out of this draft, which it can be done because this draft is deep in certain areas, how you're talking close to 22, 23 core guys going into next year? Your whole starting team is your core now on both sides of the football. You only have 25 starters, on this roster to make a full team. 11, 11, and 3. And we have 19 at least right now. You could probably stretch it to 20. But we have 19 guys that are elite core. So I got to hand it to Brad, man. He's put us in a really good position. A really good position. There's no reason why we can't go do a lot of damage and bring back that Lombardi here in 2020. Well, it'll be 27 by then. Here's 2022. So 2022, we had, let me do this again. Jared Goff, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell. I think Jamal Williams was part of that core, even though he didn't last long. Jamison Williams was not part of that core yet. He wasn't even playing. Alex Anzalone. Josh Reynolds was part of that core. Khalif Raymond was part of that core. Big difference, isn't it? Ali McNeil. Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he was just getting going. I think it was a pretty good year that year for him. See, guys like John Kaminsky, Derek Barnes, I'm not counting him yet. They were not great. Ifeatu Melifonwu was not good. Josh Paschal, Jonah Jackson. I mean, Jonah Jackson was okay, but not really core. It was too early. Brock Wright was on the team back then, but, still a young pup. I'll give Malcolm a core shot because, I mean, he was playing at an extremely high level his first year. Anthony Pittman, CJ Moore, Michael Badgley, Jerry Jacobs. I mean, come on. Like that's a huge difference. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had 12. Legit 12 core players. And some of those players were just getting started. Like Aiden was just getting going. Amon-Ra was about to step into a good season. Jamal Williams was going to have an amazing season. But now you've already played 3 seasons with a lot of these core members, and we have 19 to 20 of them. You have 7 more core athletes on this team than you did in 2022. So going into 2023, how were we for the core? You guys notice how I think differently, right? I see things differently. I look at it from a general manager's perspective. Like, what does my team have left to do to really get to that next step? Make it to that next level. I got a few more minutes here. And 2023, this is what it looked like. I'm going to do this again. Jared Goff, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Josh Reynolds. I'll put J-Mo on the list now. Jameer, definitely. David, definitely. Khalif, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Graham Glasgow. Levi wasn't playing. Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Shalim McNeil, Kirby Joseph, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Broderick Martin, absolutely core. Core to the bone. Malcolm Rodriguez, got to throw him back in there again. Hendon Hooker, he was absolutely part of the core. Now, I've left Dan Skipper off all of these because he was swing tackle, wasn't making roster. I mean, guys like Anthony Pittman, they were not great. Derek Barnes still was not great. I'll throw Derek Barnes on this one, though. Julian Okwara, John Kaminsky. I could possibly put him on the core, but nah. Cam Sutton, man, what a disaster that was. Charles Harris, nah. Romeo Okwara, nah. Tracy Walker, So here's the difference between 22 and 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Legit 20 core guys, and there was a couple of names that I left off that could potentially have been core, and maybe there's one or two names that are borderline. So what do you see? You see the similarity now between 2026 and 2023. That's what I see. Brad has gotten right back to what we needed to do in 2023 was build the core. It's there. It's elite now. And now you've just taken all of those elite players that you had in 2023 that are much better players today, and now you just stacked a bunch of solid free agents next to them, to play with them. So, our free agents today, who did we bring in that could be a difference maker? DJ Wonham. He should be as good or better than AQM because his run defense is absolutely going to help this team. AQM didn't have run defense. That's why he was a situational pass rusher. It was an SPR. Cade Mays, that's going to be a much better situation than last year, but that's not going to replace 2023, so I'm not going to put him down. Roger McCreary, look, that could be a big level up. That honestly could be better than Cam Sutton was. I'll put him in. I keep forgetting that we still have Levi Onwuzurike on this roster if he stays healthy. And what that could really turn out to be. If he stays healthy this year and he gets back to 2024's ability, watch out. Our defensive line is going to be crazy good. Rock Ya-Sin absolutely is a level up over what we had in 23. Isaiah Pacheco. Don't know exactly where that's going yet, but I'm going to put him on the list too because that's at least better than what we had for a third running back. That's better than Craig Reynolds. That's better than what we have now as our third, even if he was our third. But I think that we all agree he's going to be an extremely good number 2, and honestly could be an extremely good number 1. So out of the guys that we brought in, Larry Borum, I don't know that if he's going to be an upgrade yet over a Skipper. I would hope so, because Skipper really didn't play on the line because he was just too rigid. He was a swing tackle for a reason. I think Christian Izien is definitely an upgrade. Let me go to our DBs that year. We didn't have a Meek that year. Yeah, definitely an upgrade over Kendall Vildor. Definitely an upgrade over Stephen Gilmore. Definitely an upgrade over Khalil Dorsey. Everybody was an upgrade over Jerry Jacobs. So he's an upgrade, even though his snap load and recent time will not tell you that, but you put him out in special teams, He's a huge upgrade. Our special teams is going to be insane good, insanely good this year. I mean, we're already rocking and rolling with a really stout special teams, and you're just plugging guys in. So Cade Mays is an absolute upgrade over some of the guards that we had in 2023. Coyote Owaska, huge upgrade. Graham Glasgow, he's a huge upgrade. I'm not so sure about Jonah Jackson, but we'll find out. Jonah was playing pretty decent back then when he was actually on the field. He was playing really good, but he kept having these little nagging injuries. So I'd say overall, man, we've got, you had these guys in, these 5 guys, DJ, McCreary, Rockison, IP, and Christian Izzian, these 5 guys, add that to the 19 that we have. I think that we're way ahead of where we were at 2023, and we haven't even gotten to the draft yet. Those were all with the draft. We haven't even gotten to the draft yet. So if we had 3-4 more guys, our core and guys that are way better than what we had back then, we could be tipping the scales at 27, 28, 29 players that are extremely good football players compared to 20. So if we have a 40% increase in play on the field, imagine what that's going to do for this team overall. If you're following my numbers, I hope you are. It makes sense to me. But there you go. Cruising, like, last warning. You know what you're doing. Last warning, bud. I don't even know why you're putting that stuff in there. Like, come on. Yeah, our secondary was atrocious in 23. It was terrible. So, all right, that's it. I got to roll, man. I got duties tonight. So I need to go spend some time with the lady and relax. I'll be back here in the morning. That is the plan, to be back in the morning. I don't think I need to take tomorrow off. I might. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I'll be back in the morning. We'll just see where it goes. But anyway, you guys have a good rest of your night. Hopefully, made a lot of sense tonight. I think we made a lot of headway today. I think that we're a much better team than we were in 2023. And if that's the case, we're going places this year. We just have to stay healthy. Like that's the only key, is just to stay freaking healthy. If we stay healthy, we are all good. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe on your way out. DetroitFootballJournal.com. Subscribe now if you'd like to get your free 6 months or 3 months, whatever it's going to be. It's going to change here very soon, and then you're out. So I want to give it to you guys for free. Want to bring in as many people as we can. Share the love. Spread it around. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Go in pride. Adios.
Pressured by Hutchinson.